High above the world, where the sky stretched out like a giant blue playground, there lived a tiny cloud named Piko. Now, Piko wasn't just any cloud. He was the smallest cloud in the entire sky. While the big, grand clouds made huge shadows on mountains and floated proudly over bustling cities, Piko was so small he could barely cover the roof of a little treehouse. Every single day, Piko would try his absolute best to look fluffy and important. He'd puff himself up as much as he could, trying to look big and strong. But whenever he floated near the big clouds, they would just laugh. "Look at you," they'd rumble. "You're too small to matter." Their laughter would echo across the sky, leaving Piko feeling even smaller. One beautiful morning, the sun, with its warm and gentle rays, whispered to him, "Piko, don't you worry. Everything in this sky has a purpose, even the tiniest cloud." Piko wanted so badly to believe the sun's kind words. But looking at his own tiny reflection in a pond below, he just wasn't sure. He drifted alone for the rest of the morning, feeling a little lost and worrying he might never find his true place in the vast, open sky. But then, that afternoon, something strange started to happen. The air, which was usually so pleasant, grew hot and sticky. Down on the ground, the green fields began to look dry and tired. The beautiful flowers in the garden started to wilt sadly, their heads drooping towards the thirsty earth. The big, heavy clouds saw what was happening, but they were too far away, too slow, and too full of water to move quickly. They lumbered along, unable to reach the area that desperately needed rain. Seeing the drooping flowers and the dry fields, Piko felt a little tug in his heart. It was a feeling he had never felt before, a mix of sadness and determination. "Maybe," he whispered to himself, his voice barely a breeze, "maybe I can help." With this new thought, he started to float down, lower and lower, closer to the warm ground. As he did, he gathered cool air and tiny, sparkling drops of water inside him. He felt himself growing a little heavier, a little fuller. He stretched with all his might, puffed out his chest, and then squeezed as hard as he could. And then, plip, 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 tiny, perfect little raindrops began to fall gently from him, landing right on the thirsty plants. It wasn't a big storm, just a soft, refreshing shower, but it was exactly what the garden needed. The tired leaves perked right up. The flowers lifted their colorful heads toward the sky as if to say thank you. The children who had been playing outside stretched their hands out, laughing as they felt the cool, refreshing drizzle on their skin. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, and the wind itself seemed to cheer. "Thank you, little cloud, thank you, Piko." Hearing this, Piko glowed with a happiness he had never known. It was a warm, bright feeling that filled him from the inside out. For the very first time, he understood something incredibly important. Even the smallest of clouds can make a very big difference. When he floated back up into the high sky, the big clouds weren't laughing anymore. They looked at him with a newfound respect. One of the largest, puffiest clouds drifted closer and said in a soft, rumbling voice, "You saved the day, Piko. We couldn't have done it without you." From that moment on, Piko shone brighter than ever before. Not because he had suddenly grown big, but because he had finally, truly, believed in his own worth. He was Piko, the little cloud who made a big difference, and he couldn't be prouder. Thanks for listening to our story today. If you loved Piko's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.